Hello everyone, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be doing something in 2D, which is a scrolling background that is a scrolling background that's always going to be scrolling in the background. So you can apply this to, say, an endless runner or like a space game or a car game or something where you have to dodge traffic and stuff like that. So this is just mainly focused on 2D infinite scrolling backgrounds. And I'm going to show you two ways. I'm going to do it horizontally and vertically, so you can see that we'll be able to get the background moving this direction, right, and then we'll have another one that comes scrolling down in front of us. So first things first, I have this background here and I'm just going to use it. Just took it off Google and I'm just going to turn it into a sprite because it's a 2D scene. So hello. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to bring that into my scene. I'm going to center that up 0, 0. And then I'm also going to make an empty game object, which is going to be location 0, 0. And this is going to be called my backgrounds. So this is going to hold the backgrounds that we're going to be going through, and each one of these is going to scroll, scroll, scroll. So first things first, just close that window because I can hear a dog barking. First things first, we're going to create a new script, and this one is going to be the scroller. So scrolling object. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just calling it this because you can apply it to multiple things. Okay. Just bring that down here. If you know me by now, I just tidy this stuff up. What am I doing? Okay. So first things first, we're going to create a private private rigid body 2D, and I'm just going to call this rigid body. I should probably change this font. It doesn't look the nicest. And then a private float speed, and we're gonna do minus 1.5 f. So we're going to be moving the background from right to left. That's generically how things go. In start, we're going to do rigid body equals get component rigid body 2D, and then we are going to do rigid body dot velocity equals new vector 2, and we'll do it on the we'll do it scrolling downwards first. So we don't want to scroll on the X, we want to scroll on the Y. So we're just going to put our speed here. So in the start function, it will start scrolling that, and it'll automatically do it. So we don't need to put that into the update function. But in the update function, actually we might create a bool here. Private bool stop scrolling m underscore m underscore stop scrolling, and then I'm just going to serialize them just so we can see that in the inspector to stop it. And then just in here, you don't need to put this in, it's just if you want to know how to stop the scrolling, say you pause the game or something like that, we're just going to do if m underscore stop scrolling, and then on this line we're just going to do rigid body dot velocity equals vector 2 dot 0. That's it. And that's how you stop it from moving. Else, I'll just bring this down here. Sorry, no. I'm just wondering if that's going to do it really fast, because just going to keep updating. I'm not too sure. We'll come back to that. So now we're just going to check if this works. So we're going to need a rigid body 2D on here, and we're going to set it to kinematic, so the script is going to move it instead of dynamic, where it would just move on its own and act with gravity and stuff. So we're just going to do is kinematic. We press play. Hello. Okay, something to do with the camera here, or the graphics. See, -10. There we go. So if we press play, you can see we got everything scrolling, and then if I click on this background, I'm going to pause it, but that was pointless because it was too late. So I'm going to click stop scrolling, and then if I click scroll again, okay, so it doesn't seem to affect the speed. Stop. Okay, perfect. Generally I just stop it because I just do when the game ends or you die or something like that. So that is everything for scrolling the object. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create that this tiles over and over again. So what we're going to need on here is a 2D box collider. And the reason why we're going to be using the 2D box collider is because we're going to be getting the size of it and adding on to it and stuff like that. So the next thing to do is, once you have your inspector looking like this in the first one, it's ready for the second one. So best thing to do is Control D on this background, duplicate it. So now you have two. So you can see there's two here. We're just going to keep this, these on top of each other, and then we are going to get the size of this and add that to 10. So you get this perfect seamless kind of thing going on here. And generally with this stop scrolling thing, you would have a master game controller that will stop all this stuff. This is just for testing purposes, so if you are going to stop scrolling, because we're using two of these and maybe possibly three, you're going to want to create a master game controller that holds to stop all this, and then you can simply call it. You can just check if it is paused, or you're stopping it, or you're dead, or whatever. So we're just going to click play now, and you should see that it's quite longer than before, and we shouldn't see any seams in here. So you can kind of see a small seam, but that's literally because like this isn't the most perfect tileable texture in the world. So you're going to see something small there. If it was something that was perfectly tileable, like a blank color, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't see anything. And plus you can also change the skybox to solid color, and then solid color to black. And then bump that up, and then we might still see a flicker, who knows. So there's the scene there, I can see it, but it doesn't seem like there's a flicker that time. Okay, so perfect. Now we have our scrolling backgrounds, and what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight the two of these. I'm going to go add component, and I'm going to create a new script called repeating background. And that's going to put it onto the two of them game objects. And now we can just go and edit the script and do what we like in here. And again, I'm just going to do this stuff because the default way that Unity loads this for me is quite annoying. Okay. So, first things first, you're going to need a private box collider 2D underscore, and I'm just going to call this background collider, and then a private float, which is going to be the background height. So this would be, we'll actually just call this underscore background size, just in case you want to be using X or Y. So that's where you're going to store the size of it. And in the start function, we're going to do m underscore background collider equals get component box collider 2D. And then down here we're just going to set the size, so m underscore background size equals m underscore collider dot size, and because we're doing the y, we're going to get the y size, so that will get the height of the whole box or the whole background. And then down here in the void start, we're going to do if transform dot position dot y, because we're working with the y, is less than minus m underscore background collider, m underscore background, this one here. So if it's less than minus the amount, so if we go in here, you can see that the height is 10.8. So if it's less than minus 10.8, then we're going to do something. So with doing something, we are going to create a function called repeat background. And then I'm just going to call this like so. Then in here, in our repeat background, we are going to put a vector 2. And we're going to just call this bg offset equals new vector 2. And because we're moving on the y, we're going to set x to 0. And then we're going to use the background size. And because we have two backgrounds, we're going to multiply that by 2f. So it brings it up 2 on top of the other one. And that's generally in what I'd put in there for now. If you were rescaling stuff, I would multiply by this dot transform dot local scale dot y. So that's generally what I do. If it was a custom height, that will just generally multiply it again by its actual height and do it that way. It's just for things, but because this scale is 1 and 1, we don't need to do that. It's just going to be pointless putting that in there. So underneath this, we're just going to do transform dot position equals vector 2 transform dot position plus bg offset, and that's it. So I believe that's everything for repeating the background. We'll just check. So we're gonna pull the game view up over here, so here you can see what's going on. Over here you can see what's going on. Then this is our scroll view. So we're scrolling, and then when it goes in here, you should see that it flicks up, and we just get this endless pattern then of a scrolling background. So the reason why you do this instead of instantiating a load of backgrounds is due to performance, especially for mobile games. So if you keep instantiating, destroying, all that memory just builds up eventually, and the game will become slow. Where this way, we're just reusing two sprite renderers and just constantly overlapping them on top of each other like a leapfrog effect, and we're getting the same result as if you were to instantiate. And of course, you could duplicate another one. Excuse me. And this one will be 20.16, and now, sorry, not 20.16, it would be 21.6, I believe. I don't know, I'm not great at maths. So here we're going to get the same result here, but not really. So you can see, bang, it overlaps on top of this one. So if I pull it up, you can see that there's one underneath. And the reason for this is because we multiply by 2 here. If you change that to 3, that way it will go twice over it. So it will come here, and when it removes, it'll go on top of this one rather than inside of it. And that's really how this all works for instantiating things, or not instantiating, reusing things vertically. And then we can apply this to horizontally as well. So if I remove this here and I duplicate, so the same process here again, and I'm going to, this is on the X, so the position of the X, just going to double that. So now we have 2 here. We're going to come in here to our scrolling script, and we're going to just change a few things. So this M speed we're going to put on the X rather than the Y, and same down here. So we're going to be moving the X, and that's it for there. And then in here for the repeating background, we're just going to be getting the size for X, and change anything that's Y to X. Oh, bad. And then put this in here for our X, and then keep the Y as 0. And I believe that is everything in there, and that should repeat. Oh, we're only using 2, so keep that at 2. So now we should get the same results for it'll be horizontal instead of vertical. And then once this comes in here, it should repeat. Boom. And now we have an endless side scroller, and we're using the same background. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. That's how you reuse backgrounds and make an endless scroller. The cheap way of doing it, the expensive way is instantiating everything and removing stuff. But this is definitely the way to go for it if you're getting into mobile development, just to save that performance. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We will be getting back to the AI controller tutorial very soon. Just a few other things going on between me and one of my friends. We're doing a competition at the minute, so we're developing a game for that, and more detail will be on that when we actually release the game. So for the minute, guys, thanks for tuning in and keeping updated with my channel, and I'll try to post more regularly than I usually do. Take care, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Adios.